Good morning, beloveds. My phone has a mind of its own today. It decided I needed to go for a hike, so while I was trying to open this, it was trying to open All Trails, which is an app for finding hiking, biking, walking, running trails anywhere in the country. And maybe anywhere in the world, but I haven't had it long enough and gone anywhere in the world to know. So, yay for electronic challenges. I was in a Zoom on Monday, on Tuesday, and my camera didn't work at all. And then I had class, Heartfelt Living last night, and I was like crossing my fingers that my camera would work. And thankfully it did. I had a backup plan that night though. So, electronics, yay! All right. So it is November 6th. It is Friday. I'm still figuring out, this is the month of gratitude. And so I admit I'm struggling a little bit with what Ernest is doing this month. So let's work our way through this one. Our title today for November 6th is protection. Our Bible quote is, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." And that is Psalm 91:1. And, okay, this is a song of hope, a song of hope, a psalm of praise, the acknowledgement of an overshadowing presence, the Most High good, to which Jesus gave the name, Our Father, which art in heaven. We have a right to know that, insofar as we live in accord with the divine, we are protected by its omnipotent law. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. The knowledge of truth will ward off the darts of evil, for evil is as night before the onrushing day. It is as darkness dissipated by the rising sun. It is as fire extinguished by the waters of spirit. Today I put on the whole armor of faith. I place before me the shield of divine wisdom. I surround myself with the conscious knowledge of the overshadowing presence. Therefore I feel no evil, for thou art with me. And our reading from the Science of Mind text is, we are to demonstrate that spiritual thought force. No. Okay, we'll try again. We are to demonstrate that spiritual thought force has power over all apparent material resistance. And this cannot be done unless we have abounding confidence in the principle that we approach. All right, and that's from the Science of Mind textbook, page 159, if you want to get that in context. All right. I do think that this month, I think the reason why we have the one-word titles is because, and we are in the month of gratitude, he's been teaching us how to use this stuff up to a point. And so this month he's like, okay, we've been working on this for a while now. Let me remind you, and these are things that you have that you can be grateful for. So every day we're going to have something new to be grateful for. Today he chose protection. Well, his editor chose protection. And he went out, and I get the feeling that Ernest was probably a pretty amazing Bible scholar. He quotes Jesus a lot, and he quotes him a lot in his talks and his writing. But we don't have context. There is a concordance, and I can't remember the name of it. I do know it's huge, where a couple of people, I know it was more than one, it may have been like several people, went through the Science of Mind textbook and picked out every quote, every Bible quote that Jesus used, and told you where it was from. So if you ever are reading and go, well, I know that's from the Bible. I mean, at this point we have Google. You can put a Bible quote in and Google will tell you what verse it's from. It's pretty amazing. Because I went to a wedding and they had a Bible it was one of the gifts that they were giving to the bride and groom. And what they wanted you to do is they wanted you to take, and I'm that book lover that writing in books is hard and highlighting in books is hard. Oh, I'm getting better. I'm getting better. It's like, no, I want to remember that. So I'm getting better with the highlighter and the I won't use a pen though. I will use a pencil and I will write in my books now, but and I knew which quote I wanted, but I couldn't remember where it was. And I'm like, do you know how big the Bible is? So I Googled it and it said, nope, this is the book it's from. And I was like, and nobody else had picked it, thankfully. So he quotes the Bible a lot. And that is exactly what today is. Today is that biblical reminder that God is protection. That good is protection, that love is protection, and how it is protection. Reverend Jesse talks about the place that, erasable pens. Yeah, see, I remember those from high school and they were really bad. I'll have to look into that. Sorry, I was reading Cleopatra's comment there. They were horrible. Although I shouldn't tell you how long ago I was in high school because, let me show my age. I'm sure that the technology has gotten much better in the many years since I was in high school. So Jesse talks about the place that nothing has ever been wrong. That amazing place where we meet God. And that's what this Bible quote refers to. And of course it's one of the Psalms. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. When you go to that place that nothing has ever been wrong, when you go to that place where, I'm going to say that perfect place, that whole place, that place of possibility, and you go there, and you look around, and you go, okay. And then you take a little bit of that when you come back into to the noise, to the material world. You bring a little bit of that with you. So the more often you go to that place, the more often you bring it back with you. And the more of it you bring back with you, the more change you can affect around you. Which is the argument for regular spiritual practice. So if living there is hard. We can't stay on the mountaintop all the time because there's work to be done. But we need to make sure we're going there regularly, that we are staying in the shadow of the Almighty, that we are bringing the shadow of the Almighty back with us. And because Jesse was talking about shadow work last night, and what you have to remember is what's in the shadow isn't bad. What's in the shadow is just in the back burner. And sometimes we need to go look and see what's on the back burner because it may need more attention. Stuff boils over when you leave it on the back burner for too long. So don't be afraid of the shadow. Okay, so this is a song of hope and a psalm of praise. I had to enunciate that. The acknowledgement of an overshadowing presence, the Most High good, and he used the word good, to which Jesus gave the name, in quotes, our Father which art in heaven. Does it not make you feel better? Does it not make you feel safer to know that there is something bigger than us that is good? Which is why he uses the term the Most High good. Because people get weird around the word God. They do. And so does it not make you feel, I mean, it does, to look around this world, and sometimes it's chaotic and sometimes it's messy, and let's be honest, right now it's a little messy and it's a little chaotic, to know that there is something bigger, to know that in the end it'll all be okay, even if it's messy right now, even if it's messy, for the next 10 years or the next 20 years. In the end, there is something. Life trends towards good. Okay. We have a right to know that insofar as we live in accord with the divine, and that's the secret, insofar as we live in accord with the divine. If we are willing to use the law, and we are willing to be conscious, and we are willing to be, and I'm going to use the word faithful, and I'm not using it in the worshipful, but faithful to our ideals, faithful to that place that has never, where nothing has ever been wrong. Insofar as we live in accord with that divine idea, we are protected by its omnipotent law. If we make correct use of the law, then what we manifest will be good. And if we make improper use of the law, the consequences are on our heads. His truth shall be the shield and buckler. That's in quotes. So the truth with a capital T, that's our shield, that's our buckler. And where do we go to get that truth? We go to the place where we meet God, that place where nothing has ever been wrong, that place in spirit, that place where spirit and material meet, which is right here, right in here. The knowledge of truth will ward off the darts of evil. And we all know that. We all know that because we've all been in that situation where somebody is, I'll use name calling. You know, we've all been in that situation. I was a redhead growing up, and being a redhead, people said awful things to me because of my hair color, which is nothing compared to what other people go through. But it gives me an inkling of an understanding. And so the things that they said about me, it hurt less when I was willing to face the truth of who I am. Now, if I was going to accept what they said, oh yeah, it hurt. And it especially hurts when it comes from somebody that you care about. But if you use the truth of who you are, when people are slinging those shots and arrows at you, I'm not saying it won't hurt, but it'll hurt less and it'll heal faster. And maybe you'll get to the point that you'll get really good with that shield. Those arrows won't get to you at all. Okay, so ward off the darts of evil. For evil is as the night before the onrushing day. It is as the darkness dissipated by the rising sun. It is the fire extinguished by the waters of spirit. When evil is met with truth, it crumbles. So we got to meet it, because evil is not a power. It is not a power. But good is. And evil will always crumble under the correct application of good. But that word correct application, that's the point. We cannot meet evil with evil. Today I put on the whole armor of faith. There was a time when I was really struggling with just the world pressing in upon me. And a very dear friend of mine, and a teacher of mine, told me, put your armor on. Literally, I would visualize putting armor on. And I had this beautiful 16th century armor. I Googled it, and I was like, I had an idea, and I was like, so I started looking up armor, and I was like, so I would visualize it as I was putting on clothes, and I was putting on jewelry, and I was doing whatever. I would visualize it so that I was fully armored before I walked out into the world. She also gave me a phrase to say, which is not too far from what he says right here, just using different words. And that's how I would walk out into the world. And I did that until I didn't have to anymore. Until I internalized the armor, until I internalized that faith that I didn't have to visualize putting that armor on. So if you need to visualize armor to deal with the nonsense going on in the world today, please do. And if you're going to visualize putting armor on, make it beautiful. Just be cautious about wearing the armor, because sometimes when you put too many walls up, you wall stuff in. And you wall stuff out. So the good, you're not, yeah. So just use that with caution. Use it until you don't need to anymore. So today I put on the armor of faith. I place before me the shield of divine wisdom. I surround myself with the conscious knowledge of the overshadowing presence. Therefore, I feel no evil, for thou art with me. What I was taught by the teacher who gave me the idea with the armor, infinite spirit, surround me with love, truth, wisdom, and understanding, only the highest and the best. May I never harm another, may I never harm myself. Doesn't sound too different from this, does it? Love, truth, wisdom, and understanding. The shield of divine wisdom, the conscious knowledge of the overshadowing presence. I will feel no evil, for thou art with me. Infinite spirit surround me. That's how I walked in the world. And I still use that phrase. And it is a phrase that I will gift to people if they're really struggling. It's like, if you need that phrase, let me gift it to you, because it was gifted to me at a time that I needed it. So, from the science of mind, we are to demonstrate that spiritual thought force has power over apparent material resistance. Spiritual thought force, the force of spiritual thought, has power over the apparent material resistance. Material is constantly coming into form and going out of form. But that spiritual thought force, that's consistent and forever. So the material will eventually change, even if it looks like it's taking a long time. And this cannot be done unless we have abounding confidence in the principle that we approach. So have confidence in what you do. Have faith in what you do. It will work. If you live in accord with the divine. So what's our mission today? I'm going to go with this one. Our mission today is to place before us the shield of divine wisdom. Because I think that's what we need a little bit more of today. We need divine wisdom, because in divine wisdom, there's kindness, there's compassion, there's love, there's joy. And that's what we need. That's what we need today. Or that's what I need today. And that's the gift I offer for you today. So, all right, I'm going to move into the process of my day. And I encourage you to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. If you are in the Houston area, it is fantastic out there right now. We went for a really nice bike ride. It was good and fun. And so please do something to engage your mind and your body today. It looks like we are also going to be in the low 80s. So today might be a good day to open your windows and allow that fresh air in. Let it air out all the corners and brush away the cobwebs and allow it to shift your perspective. The world is a beautiful place. Oh, and people are good. So, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you that you live in heaven now and that you are a beloved child of God in whom spirit is well pleased now and forever. There is nothing that can change that. Nothing ever has, nothing ever will. All right, beloveds. I will be back. Reverend David will be on with you around 5 p.m. today. I will be back with you around 9 a.m. Tomorrow is Saturday. That means I get to go play with the squirrels. It may be warm enough they may actually be willing to come out. I don't know. Last week they were like, it's cold, but you have peanuts. I will come. So, do what you need to do to make it a fantastic day and have some fun. All right, beloveds.